Hello, Spikes. Welcome back to yet another episode of the Starvo Goliath Gauntlet classic constructed big gay gauntlet, I think is what we were calling it.
we have been calling it the big gay gauntlet.
Yeah, some amount of combination of those words I think is the correct setup. Anyway, welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. This will be episode 4 of the Starvo retirement party gauntlet. Where we give him a loving send-off. We know that he is living legended. We do. We really, really do.
I've been crying about it for weeks.
Yes, I've seen that, actually. I've witnessed it. It's not very pleasant, but, you know, that's James White's fault. So
sometimes you just gotta ugly cry. You just gotta let it out.
It's good for the soul.
It's good for the soul.
It's good for the soul. Prism knows all about that.
This is new answer.
Anyway, so today I am going to be trying to take down the up till now undefeated Starvo with a bit of a dark horse, a bit of a deck that you don't really see all that much, a little bit overshined by other stuff, but I'm going to be playing Katsu, the Ninja Man. That's not his official title, but it should be.
What is his official title?
Katsu, the Ninja Man. So the idea behind this deck is just to leverage combo lines. The combo lines around the ninja cards are actually relatively powerful, especially if you're able to go one into the other. Some of the time, like the benefits that you get from them, especially stacked all together, can be pretty gnarly, especially for cards that largely cost 0. So to help with that, I'm going to be playing 2 harmonized Kodachis. He is the Ninja Man, and he's the Kodachi Master. And they just help with adding some extra attacks to the chain, which helps a lot for the next piece, which is the Mask of Momentum, to hopefully leverage some amount of additional pressure. Even if the mask never triggers, if it creates a situation where your opponent needs to block awkwardly, that's mask doing its thing. It warps the game around it, even if it doesn't do a single thing. And I love the design of it. I think it's super cool. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to be playing today. Hopefully I get to draw some cards off of it. I'm also playing with a Fjendel's Spring Tunic. It's just really nice outside today. So
it's a pretty green dress.
It's a pretty green dress. He's got a blue one here, but it's just, it's a different one. But I also have Breaking Scales just to hopefully push over some damage for some combo cards, and Snapdragon Scalers to help out with some cards that maybe don't already have Go Again, just to put in some wide turns and keep the pressure applied. And we are, as I said, attempting to take down Starvo, piloted by my esteemed and lovely guest, Cayleigh.
Hi. Yeah, so I'm Cayleigh, and I am playing Bravo, star of the show, our big gay dad, through the gauntlet today. And accompanying me, we have our Winter's Wail, which our equipment set has mostly stayed unchanged for the entire gauntlet. We've got our Icy Hammer. One thing that actually has changed is our shield this time. We have a Rampart of the Ram's Head, which whenever I defend with it, I can pay 1 resource, and it gets +1 defense until end of turn. By default, it blocks for 0. But with Katsu potentially doing a lot of things, being able to get 1 extra block reliably over several turns is a little more beneficial for us than Stalagmite, which I've been running up to this point, because the tempo matters less over the course of the game. Disrupting 1, maybe 2 turns is less important. Then we've got basically the same equipment set: our Crown of Seeds, our Spring Tunic, our Crater Fist, and our Iron Hide boots.
I like how it's very much, this is our deck. He's our dad.
He is our dad. We have this shield. We have this hammer. We have this pretty green dress.
On this blessed day. Anyway, so once again, for the 4th time in a row,
I keep winning die rolls.
Cayleigh won the die roll, so she will be going first. And once again, we will see you after the commentary.
Cayleigh won the die roll again, so she's going first. Cayleigh starts by ticking up her tunic to 1. She swings in with a Glacial Footsteps for 8, pitching a blue Winter's Bite and blue Lightning Surge. Bill throws 6 block in front of it with a red Flusterfist and a blue Whelming Gust Wave, taking 2 over the top. Cayleigh arsenals 1 card and passes the turn. Bill starts by taking his tunic up to 1, then attacks in with a Kodachi. This is coming in for 1 damage, and he's pitching Lord of Wind to pay for it. Cayleigh doesn't block and takes 1. Bill attacks with his other Kodachi for 1. This time, Cayleigh blocks with the Rampart of the Ram's Head for 1, pitching red Evergreen. Bill follows it up by attacking with a red Surging Strike for 5, pitching Winds of Eternity. Cayleigh blocks with Oakenold for 3, taking 2. Bill ends his turn, arsenaling 1 card. Cayleigh takes Opportunic to 2 and attacks with a yellow Break Ground for 6, pitching blue Glacial Footsteps. Bill has no blocks here and takes 6, but there's no go again, so Cayleigh ends her turn. Bill takes up his Tunic to 2, and immediately swings in with a yellow Surging Strike for 4, pitching blue Crane Dance. Cayleigh activates her Crown of Seeds, pitching blue Flash to pay for it. This soaks up 1 damage, so she'll end up taking 3. Bill triggers Katsu, discarding red 100 Winds. He searches up red Whelming Gustwave, puts it in his banished zone, and can play it this turn. He attacks with that red Whelming Gustwave for 4 from his banished zone. Because this was preceded on the chain by Surging Strike, it's going to get +1, go again, and if it hits, Bill's going to draw a card. Cayleigh blocks with her Rampart, taking 3 damage, so Bill draws a card. With his last action point, Bill attacks with red Leg Tap for 4. Cayleigh's got no blocks here, so she'll take 4, and Bill triggers Mask of Momentum, then ends his turn. On turn 3, Cayleigh takes up her Tunic to 3 and triggers Starvo. She reveals a blue Lightning Surge, blue Evergreen, and blue Winter's Grasp. She attacks with blue Disable. This is a total of 9 damage with Dominate and Go Again, including the buff from Starvo's trigger. She pitches a blue Lightning Surge and a blue Evergreen to pay for it. Bill takes 9 and Disable triggers, tucking Bill's arsenal on the bottom of his deck. Cayleigh arsenals 1 card and ends her turn. Bill takes up his Tunic to 3 and attacks with a red 100 Winds for 3. Cayleigh doesn't block and takes 3 damage. Bill attacks with red 100 Winds for 4. This is getting a +1 from the previous 100 Winds on the chain. Cayleigh then activates her Tunic, using the resource to activate Crown of Seeds. She blocks with blue Lightning Claws for 3, bringing the total blocked up to 4, but Bill's not done yet. He attack reacts with Ancestral Empowerment, giving the 100 Winds +1 and draws him a card, so Cayleigh's going to take 1 from this attack. Bill follows it up with a red Leg Tap for 4 damage, and Cayleigh doesn't block. She'll take 4, and this triggers Bill's Mask of Momentum. Bill pitches Winds of Eternity to attack with the Kodachi for 1, and there's no blocks, so Cayleigh takes 1. Now a little bit of deja vu, Bill swings in with another Kodachi for 1, and Cayleigh will take another 1. That's it for Bill's turn, he passes to Cayleigh. Cayleigh takes up her Tunic to 1 and triggers Starvo, revealing blue Heaven's Claws, blue Evergreen, and Channel Lake Frigid. She attacks with the Evergreen for a total of 7. This is getting +2 from Starvo, and she'll pitch blue Heaven's Claws to pay for it. Bill blocks with his Breaking Scales for 1 and takes a total of 6 damage. With her last action point, Cayleigh swings in with Winter's Wail, dealing 4 damage and giving Bill a Frostbite token. She pitches Channel Lake Frigid to pay for it. She arsenals 1 card and passes back to Bill. Bill starts his turn by attacking with his Kodachi for 1. This costs a total of 2, so Bill pitches yellow Whelming Gustwave to pay for it. Cayleigh takes 1 and the Frostbite token goes away. Bill follows it up with a red Leg Tap for 4, pitching Surging Strike. Cayleigh defense reacts with red Sink Below for 4. Then Bill arsenals 1 card and passes back to Cayleigh. Cayleigh takes up her Tunic to 2 and swings in with Winter's Wail for 4 damage plus another Frostbite, pitching Channel Lake Frigid to pay for it. Bill blocks all 4 by defense reacting with red Flick Flack. Cayleigh passes the turn. Bill attacks in with yellow Surging Strike for 4, pitching blue Rising Knee Thrust. Cayleigh takes 4 damage. Bill triggers Katsu, discarding Enlightened Strike, to search up red Whelming Gustwave and put it in his banished zone. He then attacks with the red Whelming Gustwave for 4. This is getting +1 from its own ability because Surging Strike was the last attack on the chain. Cayleigh defense reacts with red Staunch Response for a whopping 7, totally blanking this attack. Bill finishes up his turn by attacking with Kodachi for 1, and Cayleigh blocks with her Rampart. On Cayleigh's turn, she takes up her Tunic to 3, and then swings in with Winter's Wail again for 4, pitching Blue Flash. Bill defense reacts with a red Sink Below for 4. With no damage getting through, Cayleigh arsenals 1 card and passes back to Bill. Bill starts out by attacking with a red Whelming Gustwave for 3. Cayleigh's got no blocks, and Bill activates his Snapdragon Scalers to give the attack go again. Cayleigh takes 3. Bill triggers Katsu, discarding yellow 100 Winds. This time he'll search up Mugenshi Release to his banished zone. He attacks with it for a total of 5 damage. This includes the +1 from its own ability. If this hits, Bill's going to be able to search for any number of Lord of Winds to add to his hand. Cayleigh blocks with Crater Fist for 2, then defense reacts with a red Sink Below for 4. She bottoms a card and draws 1. Bill attack reacts with Red Razor Reflex. This gives the attack +3, pushing 2 damage through to Cayleigh. This triggers Mugenshi's ability and Bill searches up 2 more Lord of Winds. Bill attacks with Lord of Wind for 2 damage, and pays 5 resource into its ability. This allows him to shuffle 5 of the Surging Strike, Whelming Gust Wave, or Mugenshi releases from his graveyard into his deck, and Lord of Wind gains that much attack, so this attack is coming in for 7. Cayleigh activates the Tunic to create a resource, which allows her to activate Crown of Seeds. Cayleigh blocks for a total of 5, taking 2 damage. There's a little bit of a rules error here, because they both forgot to reduce the damage by 1 from Crown's ability. It didn't end up mattering, and Bill still triggers his Mask of Momentum, but just keep that in mind. Bill then arsenals 1 card, and passes back to Cayleigh. Cayleigh starts off her turn by ticking up the Tunic to 1. She swings in with Winter's Wail for 4, and if this hits, it's going to make a Frostbite. She pitches blue Icy Encounter to pay for it. Bill blocks with a blue Rising Knee Thrust and a blue Whelming Gust Wave for a total of 6. Cayleigh arsenals 1 card, and passes. Bill ticks up his Tunic to 1. He attacks with his Kodachi for 1, pitching a blue Whelming Gust Wave. Cayleigh takes 1. He attacks with the other Kodachi for another 1, and Cayleigh activates her Crown of Seeds, pitching Crippling Crush. This prevents the 1 damage. Bill then attacks with a blue Whelming Gust Wave for 1. Cayleigh blocks with her Crater Fist. With nothing else left, Bill passes the turn. Cayleigh ticks up her Tunic to 2, and at the beginning of her turn triggers Starvo, revealing Pulse of Volthaven and Yellow Breakground. She attacks with Spinal Crush for a whopping 11, including +2 from Starvo's ability. She pitches blue Winter's Grasp and Yellow Breakground to pay for it. This one's got Dominate, so Bill blocks with his Tunic for 1 and his Mask for 2. Then Defense reacts with a red Sink Below. Bill bottoms a card and draws. He takes a total of 4, and this triggers Spinal Crush, so everything next turn loses Go Again. Devastating. Cayleigh passes the turn. Bill starts off his turn by attacking with a red Surging Strike for 5, pitching Lord of Wind. Cayleigh blocks with a Spinal Crush for 3 and takes 2 damage. Bill plays even bigger than that. He's able to do this because it's an instant and isn't affected by his cards losing Go Again this turn. Bill opts 3, then reveals the top card. If it's greater than the attack damage he's dealt this turn, he creates a Quicken token to draw a card. He reveals Red Rising Knee Thrust, which has a higher attack than the 2 damage he's dealt, so he creates a Quicken token and draws a card. He passes the turn back to Cayleigh. Cayleigh ticks up her Tunic to 3 and triggers Starvo, revealing Pulse of Volthaven and Yellow Evergreen. She plays Pulse of Volthaven, which is going to give her next Lightning, Ice, or Elemental attack +4. She then attacks with the Yellow Evergreen for a total of 12. A little bit of a rules note here, Evergreen does not get buffed by Pulse of Volthaven, but both players in the moment thought it did. A bit of a brain fart here. Unfortunately, I think it did impact the game, but there's not much we can do about it now. This is 6 base attack +4 from the Pulse of Volthaven +2 from Starvo's trigger. And she pitches a blue Winter's Bite to pay for it. Bill defense reacts with a red Flick Flack for 4, taking 8. With nothing else to do, Cayleigh passes the turn. Bill starts off his turn by attacking with a red Rising Knee Thrust for 3. The Quicken token triggers here and gives it Go Again. Cayleigh blocks with her Ironhide Legs for 2. She takes 1 damage, which triggers Katsu. Bill discards Flusterfist to search up Yellow 100 Winds and put it in his banished zone. He then attacks with that 100 Winds for 2, and Cayleigh blocks 1 of it with her Rampart for 1, so she'll take 1 damage here. Bill follows it up with a Winds of Eternity for a total of 4. This gets +2 because 100 Winds was the last attack, and if this hits, Bill's going to shuffle all of the 100 Winds on the chain back into his deck. Cayleigh defense reacts with a red Staunch Response for 7, blanking the entire attack. Bill arsenals 1 card and passes back to Cayleigh. Cayleigh starts off her turn by missing her Tunic trigger, but she'll get it eventually. She swings in with Winter's Wail for 4, and if this connects, it'll create a Frostbite token. She pitches Channel Lake Frigid to pay for it. Bill defense reacts with red Sink Below, bottoming 1 card and drawing. No damage gets through, so Cayleigh arsenals 1 card and passes. Bill starts out by attacking with Kodachi for 1, pitching blue Rising Knee Thrust. Cayleigh blocks with her Rampart, pitching blue Lightning Surge. Bill attacks with his other Kodachi, and Cayleigh uses one of her floating resources to activate Crown of Seeds, blanking that damage too. Bill attacks with an Enlightened Strike for 5 with Go Again. Cayleigh blocks for a total of 6. Bill attacks with a red Flusterfist for 4, and Cayleigh blocks with a Spinal Crush for 3 and her Tunic for 1. Unable to get any damage through at all, Bill passes the turn. Cayleigh attacks with her Winter's Wail for 4 plus a Frostbite token, pitching blue Icy Encounter. Bill blocks for a total of 6 with Yellow Whelming Gust Wave and Winds of Eternity, and Cayleigh passes. Bill starts off his turn by attacking with a Kodachi for 1, pitching Lord of Wind. Cayleigh takes 1, going to 1. Bill then attacks with a red Surging Strike for 5. Cayleigh blocks for a total of 6, and that's it for Bill's turn. Cayleigh swings in again with the Winter's Wail for 4, pitching blue Heaven's Claws. Bill blocks for 6 and none of that damage gets through, so Cayleigh arsenals 1 card and passes it back to Bill. Bill comes in with a Kodachi for 1, pitching a blue Crane Dance. Cayleigh blocks with a Rampart for 1, pitching yellow Evergreen. Bill attacks with his other Kodachi for 1, and Cayleigh activates her Crown of Seeds. Bill arsenals 1 card and passes back to Cayleigh. On turn 13, Cayleigh attacks with red Evergreen for 7, pitching blue Icy Encounter. Bill blocks with an Enlightened Strike for 3, then defense reacts with red Flick Flack for 4. Cayleigh arsenals 1 card and passes it back to Bill. Bill attacks with his Kodachi for 1, pitching red even bigger than that. Cayleigh plays Blizzard. This means the Kodachi loses Go Again unless Bill pays 2 resource. Blizzard resolves and the Kodachi loses Go Again. Cayleigh blocks with her Rampart for 1, pitching Crippling Crush, takes no damage, and that's the end of Bill's turn. Cayleigh starts out by attacking with red Break Ground for 7, pitching blue Break Ground. Bill blocks with Mugenshi Release for 3, Whelming Gust Wave for 3, and Surging Strike for 2, once again blanking all of the damage. Cayleigh passes it back to Bill. Bill comes in with his first Kodachi for 1, pitching Winds of Eternity. Cayleigh blocks with her Rampart for 1, pitching blue Winter's Bite. Bill's other Kodachi comes in for 1, and Cayleigh uses her floating resource to activate Crown of Seeds. Bill sighs and passes it back to Cayleigh. Cayleigh starts off turn 15 by triggering Starvo, revealing red Evergreen, blue Lightning Surge, and blue Winter's Bite. She attacks with the red Evergreen for a total of 9, pitching blue Lightning Surge. This is 7 base attack plus 2 from Starvo's ability. It's got Dominate, and Bill's got no way of handling that much damage, so he loses the game.
Well,
Wow. For these wrap-ups, I don't know, it's probably obvious, but we stop playing the game, we do a little bit of cleanup, we talk a little bit about our thoughts first, and then we start recording these. But yeah. We're both in the same boat here. That game was sick.
that felt insane.
Yeah.
I thought I was dead at several instances in a row.
Yes.
We sat at 1 each for multiple turns.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, there was, and there will be comments about this, I'm sure, which is something that I already mentioned, but I didn't use my breaking scales at all, even for the extra, it wouldn't have been lethal at any point, but even just being able to put in that 1 extra damage to put you into Kodachi range, 1 turn quicker or whatever it is, then that may have happened. It may have worked. The reason I did it isn't because I thought that it was optimal to not use it. I just forgot that I could do it. So,
Game is complicated. There's a lot to keep track of.
Yeah, and also if at any point I was able to actually keep cards in my hand with any sort of consistency and attack with a combo card, then maybe then I can threaten the lethal. But anyway, it was a long game, really well fought. Even with that, I'm super impressed with how that.
Yeah, that was wild.
We
and
both
immediately
got to do so much cool stuff.
got to do so much cool stuff, like Menguchi Release during several hundred wins to hit for 7.
Yeah, that was really good.
So a thing I am especially personally proud of, and this was when I drew that last hand for the final turn of the game, I realized I had hit second cycle. And after we finished the game, I picked up my deck and looked at it. Yeah, I did second cycle. Yeah. I did it right.
That's why you hit the Starvo activation.
Feels so good. Just as a player, it feels like such a good level up moment. Yeah. And I'm really proud of that, and I'm glad that it won me the game.
Yes, it was very noticeable. It was a payoff, real actual payoff for something that you did. So that game was phenomenal. So far, that I think is the best game.
Was my favorite game so far. Almost certainly will be my favorite game of the day. Yeah. We still haven't recorded the 5th game, but that's next.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm pretty excited about the last one. It's a deck that I'm more familiar with just on average, but it is a different version of a deck that I'm familiar with. So
do we want to spoil it or do we want to make people wait and see?
Let's make them wait and see.
All right.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one though. It's going to be a nice surprise. But until then, thank you all as always for watching.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for hanging out with us. It's always a blast to have you here. Thank you, Cayleigh, for playing games with me.
Of course. It's always so much fun to be here, and especially when games like that happen, it just feels great.
It's a good way to spend a day. That's for sure. But yeah, so until next time, stay well, stay safe, and we will catch you in the next one.
Hey, thanks for checking out the Spike Feeders on YouTube. Before you close the window, make sure you click subscribe for more great Flesh and Blood content.